Hi and welcome back to Celebrity Goddess Oracle. So if you've been watching my previous videos, today we're going to be looking at and doing a reading around the energy of Hailey and Justin Bieber. I have done separate videos for each of them, so if you haven't checked that out, please check that out and then come back to this video. So as you know, I like to, if you watch my channel, I like to use the Goddess Guidance Oracle cards. So we're just going to connect into the energy surrounding the two of them as a couple and see what we can see. Oh, okay. If any of you have watched the new Netflix series on the two of them, I'd love to know what it's been, you know, what your thoughts are. I haven't had a chance to watch it yet, so you know, please let me know. Put a comment in the box below. I definitely want to watch it. So let's see what else we can find about Hailey and Justin as we connect into the energy around them. Okay. Oh wow, so many. We're going to go with it. Okay. And let's look deeper into this around the two of them. Gosh, the cards just don't want to cooperate with this reading, which is unusual. Okay, let's have a look. Okay, true love, isn't that beautiful? Okay, and transformation. And right. Okay, yep. And let's have a clarify for the arts card, please. Oh, okay, flying out. Right, beautiful. We're going to do clarifiers for this as well. I'm going to change decks, actually. That's what I feel. So let's just change decks here. I'm going to use, actually use the Archangel Michael deck. Let's dive into that and see what we can find as clarifiers here. What comes out. Let's have a clarifier for prosperity and easy does it. Let's see what comes. Just one more. Okay. Okay. Right, and we'll have one more for this as well, transformation. True love and transformation. Okay. That's beautiful. New beginnings, a fresh start with transformation. That's perfect. Okay, and one more for here actually, and then I think we can dive in. Oh, okay, two. Yeah. Okay, that's lovely. So you've created a situation, have the power to change it, and be gentle with yourself. Now this card came up actually in Justin's reading previously, so if you haven't watched that, you'll be able to see that when you look back. So let's dive right in here. I'm going to start with actually, oh, I'm going to start with, I was going to start here with love, but we're going to come to that actually. Let's start at the far end. So abundance. Now the thing is about abundance, we often think of abundance as meaning money. Okay, we often associate it with meaning money, but abundance is so much more than just money. Abundance is kindness, it's care, it's time, it's focus, it's all of these things. It can be about material items, it can be about wealth, and it can be about all of those things. But, you know, Justin is going through a period of great change, you know, and transformation, and we've seen that, and we'll come to this here actually. We'll come to this here, and I'm, you know, when I connect into the energy around the two of them, I feel like their prosperity is in each other. Actually, that's what I really feel. I get this feeling that their prosperity is in each other. We're just going to pull one more card, and I'm going to take from a different deck. The Angels deck. Just feel like we need one more card in here, actually. You know. Okay. Okay, there's nothing to worry about. This came up in Hailey's reading, and you'll see that if you've viewed it, that there's nothing to worry about. So in this reading, the prosperity is in, the value is in each other, as in the relationship that they have. You know, Justin's struggle with addiction and his demons are well known, and it's something that is it's something that he's very aware of, and that they both are, and that they're working on together for each other and for themselves and for Justin. You know, it's very clear that it's time for him to sort of leave this type of toxic circle of behavior behind. You know, that's not, I don't say that as a judgment, I really don't. He just realizes, and if you've seen his reading, you'll know that he realizes that he's come to the end of that cycle. You know, that which you do, you know, he's been going through this there's so much upset around this, actually. I mean, as you'd expect, there's so much emotion, but really, it's actually quite overwhelming. It's really overwhelming. There's been so much worry around this for so many people connected into it. But the thing is, you can't just undo everything, you know, really, you know, in the snap of a finger. It takes time. The body, you know, if you've been sort of like not looking after your body for a period of time, it takes time for you to like nurture your body back into a position of balance. You know, there is this saying that your health is your wealth, you know, and that's a prosperity as well. Your health is your wealth. And, you know, you can have all the money in the world, but if you're not healthy, then you'll know how awful that can be. If any of you have experienced that, how challenging that is. And, you know, there's nothing to worry about. You know, this comes back to what I was saying a moment before. There's been this huge amount of worry around this man, you know, in particular. And also, you know, the two of them together entering into sort of the relationship and the marriage that they have, and, you know, is that a healthy thing, and, you know, is it going to work out for them? And like we've said in the previous readings, Hailey really is a stabilizing and a really loving, you know, energy in their relationship, and their love is true love, and it's meant, actually, which some people might question, but it's been very clear to me, actually, when I've connected into both of their energies separately, but that's actually meant. It's, you know, I have to say the concern and the upset is really quite overwhelming. It really is, actually. That's the overwhelming feeling that I get with this. But this situation is now at hand, actually. It's now in hand. It's going to take time. You know, it goes back to what I was saying before. You can't undo everything, you know, that's been done over a long period of time in 5 seconds flat. But the shift has already happened, and that's actually what really matters. This body of water, I mean, you know, there is this requirement and connection to connect back into nature and the healing of nature, the healing that nature gives. If any of you love animals and have dogs or cats or other kind of pets, you'll know how restorative and how loving animals are and how much they give to you, actually. And so it is with nature. Sometimes we just need to step outside of our environment if we spent too long inside. It's really important to go out and recharge and connect with nature. And then when we do that, we feel more grounded. It goes back to this energy that we're talking about, particularly in Justin's reading. There is a lack of grounding in him, particularly as an individual, you know, and the things that he's going through and he's gone through. They are cared for. You know, there is a higher power that looks after all of us and cares for us and will intervene. You know, we talked about recklessness previously. You know, we talked about reckless behavior, and I would say, not that I know, maybe if you're a fan, you'll know, But there's certainly been, when I've connected into Justin's reading in particular, situations that have been very close in nature, a very close call. And where if, you know, you were to interview him, he would sit down and say, I did this stupid thing, I did these stupid things, and I've got no idea how I managed to come out the other side. You know, I shouldn't be here. You know, that's the feeling. That's the feeling. You know, he's gone, you know, and time's gone past. He's gone that far that it's been borderline, but he's been looked after. You know, he's been watched over and looked after. You know, really, this is so beautiful. I mean, look at this. Transformation, new beginnings, and a fresh start, and true love. So, you know, their love is really genuinely meant to be. You know, before I connected into their energy and I looked at both of them separately, I wouldn't have been able to say that definitively, but you know, it's come up in both of their readings separately, and it's come up in their joint reading. You know, this love is transformative for both of them, not just for him, but for her as well. You know, these two are really meant to be together. They're really meant to be together. You know, and this says, thank you for bringing me new opportunities and offering support, and for helping me release and heal my past. Fill me with trust as I experience these life changes. And that's the perfect wording for their relationship, for the two of them together, for each of them as individuals in the relationship. So it's really important, you know, when we're in relationships, there's an honouring of people being both separate and together, you know, separate and coming together. You know, really great opportunities for themselves actually in relation to this love. I feel that going forward into sort of like work, into this next part, this is where work and the personal converge. You know, there is going to be, as they start to connect and reground themselves and the energy, just in particular, you know, there's going to be new expression in his art, and it's going to be connected to the environment and the importance of that message. And that's something that the two of them, over time, we're going to hear them talk about more, actually. We've talked about more. When we've looked at, you know, when we looked at Justin's reading, this card came up, be gentle with yourself. And as this transformation happens, and as this transformation in his work happens, actually, because this is transition and transformation in terms of the focus of what his artistic expression is going to be also. He needs to be, you know, he needs to be gentle with himself. He needs to release the feelings of everything that he's carried and, you know, how he's got here. And, you know, before we get there, you know, it's this, what we talked about previously, acknowledging before you can make this transformation, before you can, you know, make these new beginnings and these fresh starts. And as you go along the pathway, you have to acknowledge, you know, your free will and your role in how you've come to be in these situations. It's not about, you know, it's not about blame. It's not about blame. It's about taking personal responsibility, and so that you can release, the feelings of hurt and pain, and so that the healing can begin. Because, you know, going back to this point here, there's been a lot of people that have been hurt. There's been a huge amount of worry, you know, a huge amount of worry around Justin in particular, is my feeling in this. And for them as a couple, you know, I think there's real desire for them to you know, to have a successful and loving relationship. And as far as I can see, they've got every opportunity to do that. There are challenges in there, but their love is genuine, and it is true love. So it'd be really interesting to see how it works out for them. I really do wish them both the very best. And we are going to see interesting things, actually. We're going to see interesting things from both of them. Hailey's reading, if you haven't seen that in particular, I thought it was really quite surprising and quite beautiful. So you should take the time and watch that if you haven't already. So we're going to connect into the Animal Totem Energy Spirits. We're going to use the Wild Unknown Animal Spirit deck by Kim Kranz. I love this deck. I've shown it to you before. So what we're going to do is we're just going to dive in and see what else is the energies surrounding the two of them. Let's have a look. Oh, okay, wow. Cosmic egg, okay, butterfly, that's beautiful. Okay, and one more. Okay, oh, two more actually. It says we're not having one, we're going to have two. Okay. So where are we going to start? We're going to start with the butterfly here. Actually, we're going to start with transformation. So we've seen here this transformation. You know, these are a couple that are actually going to step into their own future and their own love together. And we're going to see really interesting things for the two of them. Actually, we're really going to see interesting things to do with them. The cosmic egg, this is a coming together of energy, you know. This is almost like, I feel like this is like yin and yang, you know, balancing of energy, you know, a connection. A connection is almost like two people finding their composite halves, you know, that yin and yang, that yin and yang. And the coming into the self through the joining of and connection between each other. You know, this is as important for him as it is for her, and vice versa. You know, there could be this feeling or this sort of idea that, you know, one of them brings more than the other, but that's really not very true at all. There is this amazing sort of yin and yang and balance between the two of them. You know, there's this curiosity. The hummingbird represents curiosity, you know. Before we can get to this transformative energy, there needs to be this curiosity, you know, this desire to change, this desire to learn, this desire to actually be open, you know, to be open to changing ways and changing things. And the peacock energy is about balance. It's about balance. So once we have to be curious, and then we have to reach a balance before we reach this transformation, before we get to this transformation. This is about inner beauty. This is about inner beauty. This is about acceptance of the self. So this ungrounding energy comes from when we feel disconnected from ourselves. If you connect into Justin's previous reading, that's where a lot of his hurt and a lot of his pain comes from, this disconnection between the outer and the inner. And that's where this yin and yang balance, this cosmic energy needs to come in order, you know, to reach this beautiful transformative energy, which the two of them together are going to reach for themselves and the relationship, and for each other actually. Beautiful reading, so interesting. You know, I really, the one thing that I've come away from with having read the two of them separately and this reading is the absolute importance that they play within each other's lives, and this real balance and this yin and yang energy that they bring to themselves and to each other. And that's the overwhelming thing that I can truly see, which is underpinned by this true and genuine love that they have for each other. I hope you've enjoyed this reading. Obviously, we wish them both the very best, and it'd be really interesting to see what they do. We're all gods and goddesses in our own lives. If I do private readings, if that would be of any interest to you and benefit, please reach out and connect. If you'd like to like, share and subscribe, that would be really appreciated. If you do have suggestions of who you would like me to read, please leave a comment. I do keep a list and I'll get round to it. I hope to get round to it. Just leave me a comment and let me know. I'm sending you all the love in the meantime. Please look after yourselves. Please look after each other. And thanks for watching Celebrity Goddess Oracle. Until the next time, thanks. Bye.